In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to configure single sign-on in Salesforce. By the end, you'll understand the key settings, what each option means, and how to add a SAML configuration so users can authenticate through your identity provider. First, make sure you're in Salesforce's Lightning experience with admin permissions. From the home page, open the Quick Settings gear and jump into the Full Setup area. This takes you from the app workspace into the administrative console where all identity features live. Inside Setup, use the quick find search to make this fast. Start typing sign and select Single Sign-On Settings from the results. This page is the hub for enabling SSO across your org and for managing individual SAML connections. On the Single Sign-On Settings page, click Edit to access the org-wide options. Let's walk through the most important ones. Disable login with Salesforce credentials. Tell Salesforce to block direct username and password logins to this org. It's a strong control that ensures users must come through your SSO path. Only enable this once SSO is verified and you have a break-glass admin account that isn't tied to SSO, so you never lock yourself out. Next, locate the delegated gateway URL field. If you use delegated authentication or route users through a central login page, this is where you point Salesforce to that gateway. If your architecture doesn't use delegated IUth, you can leave this blank. It's here for organizations that need that callout. Turn on SAML enabled to allow SAML-based single sign-on. This switch is what tells Salesforce to accept SAML assertions from an identity provider. If your security model requires it, you can also select Force Delegated Authentication Callout, which ensures Salesforce always attempts delegated auth when users log in. Many orgs will use SAML alone, but this is available if you have a hybrid approach. There's also Make Federation ID Case Insensitive. Enabling this reduces user mismatch issues caused by inconsistent capitalization between your identity provider and Salesforce. It's a simple safeguard that prevents unnecessary login failures. If you're testing and need to roll back temporarily, you can toggle SAML enabled off again. This is useful while you verify assertions and mapping without committing to a live cutover. When you're ready to validate the form, you can click Save to apply changes. In a training environment, you might then use Cancel to exit without keeping those changes, which is helpful for demonstrations or dry runs. In your real org, choose the one action that matches your change plan. Back on the main Single Sign-On Settings page, click New to create a new SAML Single Sign-On configuration. This defines how Salesforce communicates with your identity provider. Provide a clear name that helps admins recognize which identity provider this configuration connects to. In Issuer, enter the entity ID from your identity provider's metadata. This uniquely identifies the IDP that issues the SAML assertion. The API name will autofill based on the label. You can adjust it if needed. This internal name is used by integrations and references. Set the entity ID for Salesforce, which is the service provider identifier. Depending on your setup, this is often your Salesforce login URL under your custom domain. Coordinate this value with your identity provider so the audience in the assertion matches exactly. Choose the SAML identity type. You can map by Federation ID, which is common and flexible, or by username if your IDP username exactly matches the Salesforce username. Then select the SAML identity location. If your IDP puts the user identifier in the name ID element, choose that. If it's sent as a specific attribute, pick the attribute option and ensure the attribute name aligns with your IDP's configuration. When everything looks correct, click Save to store the configuration. If you're following along in a non-production environment and don't want to commit changes, you can cancel to return without saving. That's the full walkthrough. As you move forward, test in a sandbox, confirm user mapping with a pilot user, and only disable direct Salesforce logins after you've validated end-to-end. This approach keeps your rollout smooth and secure.